From Thompson Arena here on the campus of Dartmouth College in Hanover, New Hampshire, it's a Sunday evening non-conference matchup. Vermont out of Hockey East comes to Hanover to take on Dartmouth out of the ECAC. Glad you're with us, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving weekend. Alongside Matt Corsetti, I'm Tyler Murray. And Matt, always fun when these two teams get together. A northern New England rivalry of sorts. These teams play year after year.
Regular opponents, of course, until Dartmouth didn't play in the pandemic season of last year, but it's been a series that's been dominated by Vermont in recent memory. They're 7-1-2 in the last 10 times these teams have played. The last time the Big Green won was back in December of 2012 here in Hanover.
14 newcomers for Todd Woodcroft's Catamounts team, including a grad transfer from UMass and Philip Laganoff.
Laganoff leading the way for the Catamounts offense. They have struggled putting the puck in the back of the net, but he's got 5 goals on the season to go along with 8 points. Tied for the team leading points and leads the team in goals.
The Ivies usually start late and still getting the offense going themselves, but so far it's been Mark Gallant leading the way.
Gallant did not play in the first 2 games, but he's got 4 goals on the season for the Big Green to lead them in that category. He's got goals in 4 of his last 5 games played.
Let's take a look at the goaltenders. Catamounts split it up a little bit between Tyler Harmon and Gabe Carrier. It's Carrier tonight.
Sophomore out of Ottawa with a 1-2-1 record on the season, 3.73 goals against average and an 8.92 save percentage.
And there for a moment you saw the senior from Hudson, New Hampshire, Justin Ferguson. He's between the pipes for the 6th time this season and now 8 games for the Big Green. We're underway here. Catamounts against Big Green. Glad you're with us with Matt Corsetti. I'm Tyler Murray. Here comes Jacques Boucault right away to stash it in with Pierce to get there first. And he'll dump it back for Harrison Markell, the senior captain from Andover, Massachusetts. Markell zips one to the middle, and it's tipped into the Vermont end with Andrew Lucas. Lucas, the other captain, it's his 2nd year with the C for the Catamounts. Last year became just the 4th sophomore captain in Vermont program history. Hessler will throw it in. Carrier slowed it down enough for Carter Long, the assistant captain. Good hit there up against the boards by Sam Hessler, and Vermont has to reset. Each team coming off a loss. It was 7-4 at the hands of Providence earlier this week. For Dartmouth, they had scored 3 goals in the opening period, but the Friars just turned it on from there to pull away as the game went along. And then for the Catamounts, it was a 4-2 loss on Wednesday to another ECAC foe in Yale. Jack Cameron got to this one first, headed toward the corner, and the return feed from Tanner Palisic. Thrown ahead to Campbell, loose puck at center, collected by Urbank, who impressed a lot of people with his early efforts against Providence earlier this week. He scored his first goal in his first game of the year, but the whistle at offside 90 seconds in.
Urbank had a lot of jump in his step in that game. The Big Green had some jump in their step here early on, as we've seen pretty good physical edge from them so far, really trying to set the tone with the forecheck, throw bodies around here with this Catamount team, and try and get some good offensive zone pressure. So a lot more physical than we've seen Dartmouth so far this season.
It's the 82nd meeting between Dartmouth and Vermont, and you said in the open, Matt, 7 wins, 1 loss, and 2 ties in the last 10 meetings in favor of the Catamounts. The Big Green looking for their first win over this regional opponent since 2012. Last time they faced off, it was a tie in Burlington. Big Green got a couple of late power play goals to turn a 2-0 deficit into a 2-2 split. That puck came to Joey Musa, turns toward goal, but he's slowed down by Robbie Stucker, a senior from St. Paul. That one chipped out by Isaac Walter, Nashville Predators prospect. It's icing on one of the 5 NHL prospects on this team. They're going to be peppering Justin Ferguson with shots tonight.
Ferguson making the start here this evening, 1-4-0 on the season with a 5-1, 8 goals against average and an 8.46 save percentage. He's been seeing the majority of the time as of late for the Big Green. Clay Stevenson, the sophomore, who had played very strongly for this Dartmouth team, has been out a little bit of an injury for the past few games. So Stevenson hoping to get back sometime within the next weekend or two, but Ferguson's been manning the net for the Big Green since.
Top line for Dartmouth, Chisholm, Gallant, and Lacerdo, but the best face-off team, nearly in the region, 2nd best in Hockey East and number 6 in the country, Vermont. They're able to pick up the win there and fire it down. Catamounts winning 54.6% of the draws this year. This puck comes around to Noah Jordan, stopped at center by Lacerdo, but he'll get it right back and hoist it high into the zone off the top of the dasher. Chisholm with some room. He'll flip it in, working his way around Lucas. Chisholm hard into the boards. Hamry lost the stick. He'll grab it, but the puck eludes him. Drop the stick again, and they'll pile up in the corner. It's chipped free to Lucas now. Dartmouth 2-5 through 7 games. The Catamounts 1-9-1 as they'll blow it dead at center. And it's 16:59 to go. Saw a collision there. Thought maybe a penalty was coming, but no one's heading to the penalty box. At least not yet.
Don't know if maybe the officials lost sight of the puck there for a moment. Let's get a look at it here going down in, and only other guess in that instance maybe be some type of, no, there is a penalty coming up, so Gallant is going to skate off to serve it. So Big Green going to go shorthanded here.
Didn't see a signal from the official, and oftentimes that can mean too many skaters on the ice, but we'll wait for the official ruling as the Catamounts get the first power play chance of the day. This is Babichuk along the near side point. We'll send it down low toward Porter Shackle, the freshman out of Alaska. Babichuk all the way across the zone, but Yelush couldn't get a stick to it. This is Bucco zipping it around for Babichuk. Will play it back by the blue line. Down low it goes once again. This is Shackle all the way across off the stick of Laganoff. Now they go to the blue line. Robbie Stucker moving in. His entry feed was tipped away by Hessler's stick. Markel in behind, battling with Bucco. Kept in clean by Robbie Stucker. Got it back off the wall from Yelush. Thrown in and blocked by Markel. He can clear off the bench boards.
It was great work by Stucker to keep that puck in. Came saucering up close to shoulder height, but was able to knock it down cleanly and control. I have to give Markel credit as well for being able to block that shot and not allow a clean look through that time.
Vitelins turns into the corner. Nice fight to find LeMay. Saved by Ferguson. Toughest test of the night for the senior goaltender out of Hudson, New Hampshire. Zappernick spins free in the corner. Around toward Ray Vitelins. Tied up along the wall. Cohane slowed him down. Came back to Cohane. And he'll rifle this one down the ice. 33 seconds left in the first power play chance of the day. Building speed. Will Zappernick up to the right side. Kick save made. Rebound score. William LeMay was right where he needed to be. And his third goal of the year comes on the power play. 1-0 Catamounts.
Tough break that time. Ferguson gets a good pad down onto it, but like you said, LeMay right in the right spot. And in that instance, I think if you're Ferguson, you got to try and clear that rebound out a little bit farther away from the paint. Maybe try to redirect it towards the corner, but LeMay right on the doorstep. No problem banging home the power play goal. And for a Vermont team that struggles putting the puck into the back of the net, they're able to capitalize here on their first power play opportunity.
Vermont averages a goal and a half per game. They give up just over 3 as they'll blow this one offside with 15:08 to go. Big Green, meanwhile, score 2.5 a game, but they give up over 4.5.
The back end's been something the Big Green have been trying to break in all season long. You've lost some experience off that back end as well. Of course, you had Adrian Clark, who was pretty much exclusively the goalie here for the previous 2 seasons as well. So Ferguson really getting his first extended run here, and it's coming in his senior season.
Adrian Clark, of course, got just about every minute in goal during his long and successful career when Ferguson was an underclassman. Tarkianen had that one carry right back to him off of Gallant, who was sitting in the penalty box when the LeMay power play goal came in. Gallant will send it through his own end, but Lacerdo's there to catch. Under pressure there from Munzenberger, the freshman from Germany, and an Edmonton Oilers prospect, and they'll bring it back in. Bucco gave it up to Pierce. Flipped ahead to a hard-charging Sam Hessler, senior from Boxborough, Mass. He'll slip it in. Hubbard got a piece of it, thrown back to Cohane. Along the blue line it goes. Dylan Witzke moving in, flipped toward goal, but it gets the end boards. Stucker under attack from Trim and Lokiberg. Lokiberg and Hessler working for possession, but it squirts free to Vitelins. He'll hoist this one to the blue line, kept him momentarily, but the pass is picked off by Bucco. He can stash it away for a Vermont line change.
Witzke in that instance thought he was going to have Kohane over there staying at the top of the blue line on that pass, but Kohane peeled off on the pass to take more of a defensive posture, and that allowed Vermont to get possession and throw it deep for the line change.
Kohane backhands it out to center. Lucas returns the favor to dump it in. Witzke feeling the pressure will keep it behind the cage, and hopping right to it is Andrew Lucas. Leahy threw it on into the corner. LeMay waiting for it behind the net. Witzke got in there first. Zampernik on the backhand. He'll poke it back to the blue line. Lucas on the move with room. Shoots and a save. Rebound, score. Another big juicy one on the near side post. And this time it's Joe Leahy. The senior gets his first of the year.
A little bit of traffic in front. Ferguson's able to fight through it, make the save, but it's sitting right outside the crease. The scramble, not enough time to get over to it. And Leahy's able to pound that one in, the transfer from Cornell. And for a Vermont team that comes in averaging under 2 goals per game, they are one of only, I believe it was 7 teams in the nation that average under 2 goals per contest. They've already got 2 on the board here in just over 6 minutes and 48 seconds to play.
A goal for Leahy, the third defenseman listed with Andrew Lucas on the Vermont line sheet. That is first of his career, or of the season, as we said, 5th of his career, and now his 46th game as Dartmouth looks for some answers early. Remember, they were ahead 3-0 in the first period against Providence down at Schneider Arena on Friday, but it was the Friars scoring 7 of the game's last 8 goals. Dallas Como got a piece of that one all the way back out to the neutral zone with Palisic. Offside warning is up, so Dartmouth has to regroup. He'll clear the zone. And plenty of room for Vermont to break out. Tipped ahead and twisting beyond the end line. Palisic racing after it, flipped over toward Townley. Cameron the closest man to it. Misfired feed at the blue line from Long, taking advantage Ryan Sorkin, but caught from behind. He tried to knife his way between the circles.
Sorkin in a tough spot right there, had a chance to break in, but he's really just 1-on-3, forcing that move to the middle. Tried to carry through, it was poked off his stick nicely, but Big Green will come away with the offensive zone draw. They got to find some of that jump they had in their step early on in this game, and ever since that power play came in, Vermont's been really dictating the pace and tempo, and Dartmouth kind of came out playing heavy early on, had some good sustained attacking zone pressure, but the Catamounts able to strike on the power play and then strike just a couple minutes later. 2
wins in 6 games for Dartmouth so far this year. They beat Colgate 3-2 here on November 5th, and then they beat St. Lawrence 3-2 on the road the following weekend. Also had a really impressive showing against now a top 10 team in Cornell, falling 5-4 with a goal in the final minute. Markel flipped it on net. Kick save made by Carrier, one of his first of the day. That one lopped to center. Chisholm made the snag. Couldn't enter cleanly. And it comes to Babachuk. Ambushed by Lacerdo, but he spun away from possession. Markel goes to Galan in front of the scorer's table. Hamry took it away, and Jordan can restart. Babachuk winds and fires. Ferguson assumes it's covered up, and it is. Right between those pads with 11:50 to go. He has been peppered early on. He's made the initial save every time, but 2 rebounds have been put home for the Catamounts.
6 shots on goal so far for Vermont early in this one. 7 shots total in the game, and Dartmouth just trying to get themselves reset.
And we said just 1 win this year for the Catamounts, but it was a very impressive one at home in overtime over Boston College. They were down 3-0 early in the second period, but Philip Laganoff started the comeback with a power play goal and eventually got the game winner in overtime. It was actually 4 unanswered from Vermont to take the lead in regulation. BC was able to answer and tie it back up in the final frame, so they needed some more resilience to get it done in overtime after what could have been a letdown. Munzenberger kept it alive with the glove. Will jam it all the way back around. Kohane knifing at it, and he can clear the zone. LeMay goes to the circle. Zampernik turning, and his one-time bid knocked away. Laganov and Cohane go into the corner. Vermont out of Hockey East. It's been a fun non-conference weekend for Hockey East teams, as they often do on Thanksgiving weekend. Played Yale earlier this week. As Leahy goes across, Lucas returns the feed. Leahy goes to the blocker of Ferguson. They'll set up again 5-on-5. Lucas to the middle, tip toward goal. You saw Vitalin's lurking at the near side post. Thrown toward Bucco, affected by Cohane. Now Urbank looking to skate ahead. He'll flip it out to center. It's gloved down by Lucas. Nice feed to find Bucco, trying to catch Dartmouth on the line change. As Leahy winds up, big block shot there from Brock Paul, playing in just his second game of the year. Puck skidding toward the half wall. Joey Musa looking to get rid of it. Cohane's pass picked off, intended for Sorkin, but it finds the Catamounts. Lucas will loft this one beyond the end line. Paul whacking at it, and off the glass he goes, but took a funky bounce back toward the circle, so it's eventually cleaned up by Musa.
Dartmouth fortunate right there. That cross zone pass there by Cohane, you really have to, your percentage has to be 100 out of 100, knowing that you're going to get that clear. That's a dangerous pass, and they're fortunate the Catamounts didn't get a better opportunity out of it.
That one chopped out. Nice work from Dallas Como. Trying to spring his forward Noah Jordan free, or check that, it's Isaac Walter. Off the wall they go. Stephen Townley scored his first career goal on Friday against Providence. A little bit of room here for Musa, all by himself. Musa dangling his way into the offensive end, but Jordan took it away at the last minute. Lacerdo with a bump behind, and it comes out to Jesper Tarkiainen. Chisholm able to take it away. Final 9 minutes of period one. Long skate, throw it to the middle, they score! It's Gallant! Number 5 this season to lead the team, and Dartmouth right back in it.
Got to give Chisholm full marks on the assist in this one. Coming over the blue line, glance over his shoulder to see what his options are as he is entering in the perfect backhand pass right on the tape of Gallant, the flick, and then he just has to pop that one home, and Dartmouth has cut the lead in half.
He's only played in 6 games this year now, Mark Gallant, but that is goal number 5. And it moves him into a tie for the team lead in points with Tanner Palisic. They've each got 6. Now Dartmouth needed something before the first intermission came around, and they got it. As Lacerdo reaches out for that feed into the zone from Ian Pierce. Winds up with Moonsenberger. And now some room for Robbie Stucker, who sidesteps Hessler. That pass was knocked down. Moonsenberger to collect. Over the blue line goes Laganov. Pierce reaching for it. Laganov turns back toward the blue line. Moonsenberger will zip it in. And it winds up with Gallant on the other end. Hessler skating ahead. This one's over his opposite shoulder, though. They'll throw it down to the near side boards. That one hopped over the stick of Pierce. He's able to recover. Threw it ahead where Trim Lokiberg, the freshman from Norway, can skate ahead. Hessler bumped off the puck by Yalush. Good speed the other way from William LeMay, who scored the first goal in the game and came on the power play. Lucas off the boards to Leahy. 7:45 to go in period one. LeMay keeps it low. Zapernick can tap it in. Yalush into the corner with LeMay. Nearly squirted free, but kept along the wall for now by Chisholm, who had the assist on the Gallant goal. That one thrown across the zone. Lokiberg racing for it, but Carter Long got to it first. Now some room for Brock Paul to skate ahead. Ambitious pass for Lokiberg. Tingling read it well, and Vermont can regroup with some line changes coming. Dovar Tinling will lift it in. Last year he was the youngest player in the country at just age 18. Right now that belongs to Jack Hughes, 18 years old for Northeastern, as that one's kicked aside by Carrier. Big Green building some momentum. Didn't have any shots on goal in the first half of this period. Now testing Carrier just a little bit. Stucker to the middle, knocked down. Chance again in front. Tarkianen had an opportunity just outside the crease. Hamry came crashing in, but Palisic able to keep him away.
Palisic bailing out his goalie right there. Another rebound just sitting right out in front of the crease.
Tarkianen ahead again. Pass quickly picked off by Pierce. And the ricochet comes to Markell. Able to gain the red line for the dump in. No icing. Sorkin, big bump crashing into the boards. Tarkianen once again sidesteps Hessler, but behind the play, an interference penalty is called. And Vermont's Luka Munzenberger is left asking what he did wrong. We'll take another look when we come back. And when we do, it'll be the first power play opportunity of the game for Dartmouth.
Back-to-back trips to the NCAA tournament. Touchdown. Pass score! Up in the air. Good! With their first championship! Unbelievable!
It's not really about the notes. I want them to find the music and make it their own.
I will push you. I will test you. I'll demand everything you've got. What do you get? Everything I have.
I love when families are able to come here and I can tell them they don't have to worry about paying for their care. They've got enough to worry about taking care of their sick child. Every single person that contributes is a part of that St. Jude family that makes that happen. Because of donors, we're giving families hope.
Ticket Smarter is proud to support St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. $1 of every transaction will go directly to benefit St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Visit ticketsmarter.com to learn how you can help today.
Luka Munzenberger off for an interference call. First chance of the man advantage here for the Big Green so far tonight, and it's going to be a tangle up that we'll see in just a moment in front of the goal. As you see Munzenberger coming right through there and taking away Musa on the forecheck pressure, and got his palms up going at this beautiful ceiling here in the Thompson Arena, of course, while he was making his way to the box, but that's pretty much the textbook definition there of interference.
Vermont scored on its first power play chance of the period. Gallant on a one-timer, misfired. Chisholm hopping in after the rebound, but it winds up with Leahy. Laganoff pinned up against the corner boards by Sorkin. Palisic threw it in. Gallant with the puck again. He has the only Dartmouth goal so far. That one went off the shin pad. He's able to collect it and keep it alive. Lacerdo poked that for Gallant, but good stick from Vermont to keep that one away.
Got a right shot in that instance as opposed to a left shot. You probably got a cleaner chance of feeding that one across to Gallant, but have to like the fact that Dartmouth being aggressive here on the power play. You've got Gallant manning one of the points, a forward that's on the back end. They want to get some offense moving. It's a power play. It's slowed down as of late. They're 2-6 against Colgate, but just one of their last 13 on the man advantage.
Chisholm's centering feed was picked off, and Vermont is able to clear with Zapernick. Dartmouth hasn't scored a power play goal in any of their last 3 games, but Vermont hadn't scored on the power play in their previous 5 until the opening goal from William LeMay. Plenty of speed here for Musa. He'll keep it out wide along the boards into the corner. Hubbard goes. Nick Unruh into the game on this power play as well. Pierce racing for it, does well to keep it alive. Well, it'll be skated out eventually by Corey Babachuk, the RPI transfer, who's got plenty of experience against ECAC opponents.
That was a nice job by Babachuk, not just on the carry up, but he was the one that forced that turnover. His quick little stick lift as Dartmouth was trying to set up a cycle on the far side wall. He broke up that cycle and eventually was able to get the clear here. And for all intents and purposes, almost kill off the penalty as well.
8 seconds left on the interference call. Just under 4 minutes to go in period 1. Power play is over. Munzenberger will skate across the rink, come off the ice, and we're back to 5-on-5. Bucco tips it in to get around Cohane, but Hessler's in to help for Dartmouth. Laganoff got a shot away, kicked aside by Ferguson. Now Dylan Witzke starts the breakout. He'll lift this one in high off the glass. Urbank gives a bump to Lucas. Loose puck and poked ahead by Zapernick. Cameron turns and fires it back in. It has to be played by Carrier. Out in front as Yalush felt the pressure right in front of his goaltender, so he threw it to the boards. Gallant nearly overskated it, but Zapernick couldn't capitalize. Final 3 minutes of period one. Tipped in by Lacerdo, spun free by Leahy. Munzenberger in after it. Pass picked off by Lacerdo. Down low for Chisholm. Tipped around by Leahy. It'll come to LeMay. Leahy with a little more room behind the cage this time. And they can build the breakout. 2:31 to go in the opening period. Vermont had a 2-0 lead on goals from LeMay and Leahy. But Gallant on a nice feed from Chisholm has cut the deficit in half as Ferguson will cover up. We mentioned the impressive win for Vermont earlier this year. 5-4 over Boston College in overtime. 2 goals in that game from Philip Laganoff. Just 3 for the rest of the year in his other 10 games. As each of these two teams looks for that go-to scorer they can rely on. And so far for Dartmouth, their leading goal scorer has already lit the lamp today with Mark Gallant.
Gallant now with 5 goals on the season, coming in the 6 games that he played. Didn't see action the opening weekend for the Big Green, and coming into today, this is a Vermont team that had just 21 goals on the season.
2-on-2 developing here. Pierce and Unruh ahead. Pierce turns toward goal. Loose puck, and it's kept out with the glove. That hit a skate. It was trickling toward the crease, and Carrier slapped the glove on it before it hit the end line.
Love the move there by Pierce with speed. Puts the brakes on and makes it almost think like he's going to skate up the wall, maybe see an exchange along the half wall there. Instead, he turns, spins, throws it towards the front of the net where Tyler Campbell was on the doorstep. He got his stick to it, and it was trickling just inside that near side post, but Carrier alert to it and is able to freeze it with the glove.
Third line for Dartmouth, Campbell, Urbank, and Unruh. And yet again, a face-off win for Vermont. Dovar Tinling will work it ahead. Leahy with it, plenty of room until now. Campbell out to meet him at the blue line. Pierce picked off the pass. It'll carry it the other way. Campbell let that one skid up into his skate, and he's turned right back at the blue line. Markell and Laganoff into the corner. Pierce has been active back toward the blue line today. He's on the move again. We'll give him the red line as he dumps it in for a change. Unruh into the corner. Force the turnover. Campbell gets tied up. And they go through the wickets of Campbell. And that's going to allow a little bit more room for Bucco. Bucco throws it across to Leahy. Up the left wall with a tip in. Cameron will have to play it. 70 seconds to go in period one. Double team comes on Yalush. Gallant able to work it free. Gallant will carry it over himself. Now gives to Lacerdo. Return feed. Sticked away by Carrier. 49 seconds left. Bobby Stucker got spun around. Rockpaul sweeping at it, but it's gloved by LeMay, and he can bang it out up high. They will whistle the icing with 34.4 to go, and Vermont's going to have to peel some guys back off the bench and come in front of the goaltender.
Big face-off coming here. If you're Dartmouth, you've got some tired legs on the ice right now in the waning seconds of the period, looking to try and get level with Vermont. You mentioned already Vermont, one of the top draw teams in the nation, but the Big Green have been fairly level with them so far. 7-7 face-offs are even between these two squads so far, and they're trying to buy a little bit of extra time. There's 6 green sweaters on the ice right now, and there should be 5, but a big draw coming here for the Big Green.
Catamounts win this one. And they'll work it out. Zappernick looking to squeeze his way in, but Pierce sealed him off, at least initially. "12 seconds to go. Dartmouth got what it needed, a response after allowing the first 2 goals. Is there one more here in the final seconds? Hessler behind the cage, threw it in front. Palisic from a tough angle, got the side of the net, and that winds the clock out in the opening period. It was 2-0, seemingly right out of the gate, 7 minutes into the game from LeMay and Leahy, but the Big Green get one back to make a game out of this heading into the first intermission.
Gallant able to find the back of the net, cutting that Catamount lead in half, but full marks to Vermont, getting pucks towards the front of the net, getting rebounds, and then capitalizing on those opportunities on the power play in particular. So maybe a little bit more offense than we were expecting between these two teams here in period number 1, but after the opening 20, Catamounts have that 2-1 advantage.
First intermission comes your way next. Vermont in front, but plenty of hockey left to be played here on NESN Plus.
This Black Friday, do you want to
Hey, Tristan! Hey, Lexus, play holiday music.
We've been waiting all year to come together. Have a happy and safe holiday season from Lexus.
It's the most joyous time of the year.
Especially at T-Mobile. Let's go to Diane.
Can you tell us what's happening? Yeah, I got the awesome new iPhone 13 Pro and AirPods, and T-Mobile's paying for them both. Oh, and I get a free year of Apple TV Plus.
And this is for new and existing T-Mobile and Sprint customers, like me. Back to you.
Hey.
Hello?
We're going to T-Mobile.
Upgrade to the iPhone 13 Pro and AirPods, both on us. This week only at T-Mobile.
Get cheesy at Red Robin with our new cheesy bacon fondue. Some dip, some dunk, some douse. Dive in before it disappears.
Red Robin. Yum. The most dramatic saga in football is taking place right now.
Incredible NFL theater.
600 touchdown passes for Tom Brady.
Halfway through the NFL's biggest season ever. Stay tuned.
Free forms, 25 days, 25 days, 25 days of Christmas song. Frosty, Grinch, Buzz, and Woody, and the Santa Claus.
Ho, ho, ho.
So much crazy Christmas, it's a Yuletide marathon.
What's it called?
I forgot.
Free forms, 25 days of Christmas song. 25 days, 25 days, 25 days of just because. What's it called? I forgot.
Please, somebody make it stop.
Free forms, 25 days of Christmas song.
You guys give up, or you're thirsty for more?
Welcome to the Dartmouth Plays of the Week, presented by Milton Cat, your area cat dealer. The Plays of the Week showcase the best Big Green plays each week as seen on ESPN Plus and other media outlets. Now settle in and enjoy the ride, for these are the Dartmouth Plays of the Week. Junior midfielder Eric Sackelbin scored the game-winning goal for Dartmouth at Brown Saturday evening. The goal came in the 46th minute and was assisted by freshman midfielder Finn Callahan with precision tic-tac-toe passing. It was the first goal of the season for Sackelbin as the Big Green closed out their season with a win. Midway through the third period on Friday night against St. Lawrence, junior Jack Cameron of the men's ice hockey team scored his first collegiate goal to give Dartmouth a 3-2 lead. His goal was the game winner as the Big Green held on for the victory. Up 14-8 in the fifth set against Yale, a well-timed kill by Amelia Gibbs ended the match in dramatic fashion. This was Dartmouth's first win over Yale since 2015. After Cornell scored what turned out to be its only touchdown of the game to start the second half, the Dartmouth offense went back to work. Under heavy pressure, quarterback Derek Kyler flung the pass downfield toward running back Zach Baer, who made this fantastic over-the-shoulder catch for a 19-yard gain into Big Red territory. 2 plays later, Howard finished off the drive with his 20-yard touchdown run. Baer is third on the Big Green this year with 17 receptions. Playing in its second game of the season, the Dartmouth men's basketball team rained down 16 three-pointers at Georgetown to help knock off the Hoyas 69-60. Taurus Samuels provided 6 of the long balls, as did Brendan Barry, while rookie Ryan Cornish canned the first 3 of his career, and Cam Kristoyak drilled the other as the Big Green earned their first win over a team from a major conference in 32 years. The 16 triplets are the 4th most in program history and the most since the team popped 17 against Albany in Ireland 3 years ago. With a 44-5 lead against number 4 Brown, Lily Durbin further increased top-seeded Dartmouth's edge with her 4th try of the game, stiff-arming 2 Bears and sneaking past 1 more defender to score. The Big Green ended the game with a 56-5 win, advancing to the NERA championship game to be played against Army in West Point, New York this Saturday. Junior quarterback Nick Howard ran for big yards against the visiting Cornell Big Red, amassing a career-high 172 on just 13 carries, while also scoring 4 touchdowns. But his longest run of the day didn't even reach the goal line with this 75-yard gallop to the Cornell 15. 2 plays later, Howard bullied his way into the end zone from 2 yards out. His other scoring scampers covered 5, 20, and 32 yards to help garner his second selection as the Ivy League Offensive Player of the Week. For the season, Howard has 707 rushing yards, the most by a Dartmouth quarterback ever, and 13 touchdowns, 2 shy of the school record set back in 1929. Thank you for joining us for this week's edition of the Dartmouth Plays of the Week, presented by Milton Cat. For sales and rentals of Caterpillar machinery and generators, visit miltoncat.com. Milton Cat, your area cat dealer.
Make your debit card green. Big Green. Select from 16 options by visiting any Ledyard Bank location or calling 888-746-4562. Ledyard's online and mobile banking includes free personal mobile check deposit, so you can show all your Dartmouth pride on your home turf. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Dartmouth. This is a school with a sense of place, a sense of purpose. A member of the Ivy League, Dartmouth is a liberal arts college embedded in a research university, where undergraduates have direct access to our world-class faculties in arts and sciences, business, medicine, and engineering. With more than $100 million in need-based scholarships available, we'll help you achieve your goals. Come visit. We'd love to meet you.
Growing your business isn't just one thing, it's a million little things. Should you lease, rent, or own? How fast can you get that part? Does it fit the budget? That's what your local cat dealer is here for. With expert advice, flexible financing, and industry-leading equipment, you can get the job done day after day. For a limited time at Milton Cat, get 0% for 60 months on select new cat compact equipment.
As a trusted choice firm, the Richards Group has been committed to local communities for decades. We take the time to get to know our clients, their needs, and budget. We're independent, so we work for you. not an insurance company.
We use our expertise to find our clients the best home, auto, and business coverage at the most competitive price.
Our team provides consulting services for employee benefits, retirement plans, human resources, and leadership development.
The Richards Group. Prepare for tomorrow by contacting us today.
Hi, I'm Pierre LeBlanc, president of Engelberth Construction. For over 40 years, we've been recognized as one of the largest and most dynamic commercial construction companies in northern New England. As a premier builder and partner of Dartmouth Athletics, we have built many facilities on campus. And at Engelberth Construction, we truly believe in building relationships for life. Go Big Green.
Make your debit card green. Big Green. Select from 16 options by visiting any Ledyard Bank location or calling 888-746-4562. Ledyard's online and mobile banking includes free personal mobile check deposit, so you can show all your Dartmouth pride on your home turf. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
First intermission in Hanover, New Hampshire. Where and when would you rather be than Thompson Arena? With Matt Corsetti, I'm Tyler Murray. Did you have an answer to that question, Matt? It looked like you're about to jump in. Don't worry. 5:20 until we drop the puck for period 2. Take a quick look at the statistics, and we talked a lot about the face-offs, which Vermont has dominated throughout the year, but the Big Green holding their own, and after a great start for the Catamounts, 7 minutes in they had a 2-0 lead. It felt like they could have easily put a couple more goals in there to blow this one open early, but that's not the case. A 2-1 game.
And with the number that's jumping out there, obviously your shots on goal so far, Vermont's been able to generate a little bit more on the offensive end. It's funny because Dartmouth really came out and set a physical edge early on in this one, had some good sustained attacking zone time, just maybe not a lot of opportunities. And when that minor penalty got called against Gallant, that's really when the tide started to shift a little bit. Vermont had a little bit of a jump in their step, obviously getting the power play goal, the other one after that. But Dartmouth has to be buoyed by the fact that they were able to get something of a response with Gallant getting the goal there to try and cut the lead in half.
Highlights when we come back to get you set for period 2. A good one so far, non-conference play. Hockey East taking on ECAC on Nesson Plus on a Sunday evening. Stick around.
Hey, Lexus, play holiday music.
We've been waiting all year to come together. Have a happy and safe holiday season from Lexus.
Turn big jobs into big fun. Our Battery AK Homeowner Series starts at just $199.99. Real steel. Find yours at over 10,000 local steel dealers.
Bathfitter doesn't just fit your bath. With hundreds of custom designs, it fits your style. With our unique tub-over-tub installation in just a day, it fits your schedule with no demo or mess. With quality that's guaranteed for life, it fits your high standards. Why have over 2 million people welcomed Bathfitter into their homes? It just fits. Bathfitter. Call now or visit bathfitter.com to book your free consultation.
We all sort of grew together.
That was the final chapter in that part of our team's history.
This time, an Avenger has arrived on Disney Plus.
There's an Avenger in my home.
That's amazing!
Hawkeye, only on Disney Plus.
Nice crowd on a Sunday evening here in Hanover. Patriots game is over. Get to Thompson Arena. That seems to be the plan around town today as we check out the highlights from the first 20 minutes. 3 goals, 2 for Vermont, 1 for Dartmouth.
First coming on the power play for the Catamounts, William LeMay, his 3rd of the season, right on the doorstep for a sweet rebound in front. He bangs it home at the 4:50 mark, and just under 2 minutes later, it's another rebound that's put home as crashing in that this time is Joe Leahy, his 1st of the year. That made it 2-0 in favor of Vermont, but then the nifty pass, the tip in by Lacerdo, and you gotta love the look here coming from Chisholm. Gallant right in front is able to stick it in just past the halfway point of period number 1. That made the score 2-1. That's where we stand here in period number 2.
Fun coaching matchup today as well. Second-year head coach Todd Woodcroft, a 4-year assistant with the Winnipeg Jets, and he's going to be an assistant coach for the Swedish national team in the Olympics in 2022 in Beijing. He's going up against first-year coach Reed Cashman, a 2-year assistant with the Washington Capitals, so NHL experience on both ends. And also wanted to give a tip of the cap to Reed and the entire hockey ops crew and team for Dartmouth. There was a young fan, Dominic Janos, who fought and beat cancer over the summer, and he got messages of support from Reed Cashman during his battle, and Reed promised, once you get through this, come out to a game and enjoy it with us, and today is that game. Dominic read the starting lineup card, was able to hang out with the team to get him fired up for the game. An inspiring story, and can't say enough about the class that Reed Cashman showed to really help that family out and give them some good feelings after what was a tough summer. As we're underway here in period 2, it was 2-0 out of the gate for Vermont. This man started it. LeMay goes to Zapernick, and he scores. Not even half a minute into the second period, it's Will Zapernick to make it 3-1 Vermont.
You could see that developing as that puck was coming through center ice. Zapernick does a nice job skating away. You've got 3 white sweaters that just aren't quite far enough back. Gallant focusing more towards the puck. Let Zapernick come in. There's nothing Ferguson could do about that. Just a tipping goal. And Vermont, just like that, 23 seconds in, pushes their lead back up to 2.
Second of the year for Zapernick, the sophomore from Edmonton. It's also the second goal of his career.
Second in as many games as well. Had a tally against Yale.
Heating up against ECAC teams at the very least. The Big Green in need of another response as LeMay goes back to work. Fanned on that entry feed. Margell rejects him back over the blue line. And it's settled with Babachuk. And he can rifle this one around as Pierce waits for it. It's Dartmouth's last home game until the very end of the calendar year. The Ledyard Classic comes back to Thompson Arena December 30th, and then on New Year's Eve, December 31st. And maybe the most loaded list of teams coming to town as Hubbard works the puck into the corner boards. You got Mercyhurst, Dartmouth, and then 2 Hockey East teams, UNH and Boston College, playing for the Ledyard Classic trophy at the end of next month. Brock Paul kept it away from Como. Bouncing puck. Finds the stick of Campbell, and he can spring Eric Urbank free. Urbank turns on the Jets, but he's denied by Carrier, who makes his 3rd save of the game.
Nice work there in the back check by Dallas Como. Hunting a rebound coming in on the far side was Nick Unruh. Also maybe an option there for Urbank to try and slide that pass across, but you see it at the right side of your screen. The battle there and getting back. It's a nice job by Como to get the position underneath so there's no angle for a pass to come across. Gives the goalie Carrier an easy read. He's able to make the stop.
Faceoff comes to Lucas. And now Vitalin's muscles his way out of the zone. Kohane will bring it back to Brock Paul. Icing whistled, though, with 18:16 to go. As for Vermont, we mentioned in the open how many new faces they have this season. 10 first-year players, 2 juniors, 1 senior, and then 1 grad transfer, Philip Laganoff. This team was in shock the world mode in the Hockey East playoffs last year. They almost did. They scored the first goal in the opening round on the road against UMass Lowell and held that 1-0 lead for a bit longer than you'd expect until the Riverhawks eventually took over and rode that momentum all the way to a runner-up finish in the Hockey East tournament to UMass. This is not a team to be slept on. Boston College found that out about a month ago. And Dartmouth wasn't sleeping on Vermont, no question. Always tough against any Hockey East opponent, but if they were sleeping on the Catamounts, they had to wake up 7 minutes in when Vermont had a 2-0 lead.
Vermont's not a team that's been getting blown out of the water either. You look over the course of the last 5 games, they've got a tie in there against UNH and a pair of 1-goal losses as well against Providence and the Wildcats. So they've been in contest. It's just been an issue of putting the puck in the net more than the opposing side. And I suppose that's easy to say. If you don't score more than the other team, you're not going to win, but that's been the challenge. But so far here tonight, 3 goals on the board for the Catamounts.
In the poll, it's Maine and Vermont expected to finish toward the bottom of Hockey East, and that's about where it lines up at the moment. First-year head coach Ben Barr with Maine, and as we said, second-year head coach Todd Woodcroft with the Catamounts. So rebuilding to be done as this one's caromed in. A line change for the Big Green. Look at the top line out there with Chisholm, Gallant, and Lacerda. Nice play from Chisholm to free that one up. Centering feed, Lacerda in front, and a heck of a save from Carrier to keep that one out. Markell had that one blocked. And here come the Catamounts. Noah Jordan will bring it in. There was a whole lot of net for Jeff Lacerda to shoot out on the other end. But Carrier, it looked like he reached back with the stick, I think, Matt, to keep that one out.
No, I don't know how he kept that one out. Can't wait to see that one on replay. That pass coming up to Lacerda. Good work on the forecheck, being physical, causing the turnover. I don't think the puck settled for Lacerda there quite cleanly, so we had to try and go to the backhand. That gave Carrier just enough time to recover and make the stop.
Pierce will shake free of Zapernick, who made it a 3-1 game in the opening half minute of this period. Gallant forced back toward the blue line by Stucker. Bouncing puck settled by Lacerda. Up the left wing he goes around Munzenberger. Lacerda stick tied up and he draws a penalty. Munzenberger touches to confirm the hooking call. And Dartmouth goes back to the power play. It's their second chance with 16:03 to go in period 2. Take another look at that save from Gabe Carrier. Hasn't been tested all that much today, but it was Jeff Lacerda who almost always finishes from this spot.
And you see right there, just Carrier is able to get out, get just enough of the blocker on that puck again, bounding Lacerda, trying to settle on the forehand right there. Had to pull it to the backhand, and that gave Carrier just enough time to get to it.
Off the face-off, Unruh had it poked away. A reaching effort from Joe Leahy. Leahy scored the first goal of his season earlier and made it 2-0.
Leahy bringing that Cornell defenseman pedigree with him. If you skate for the Big Red on the back line, you know how to clear things out of your own end, and you saw that right there.
Musa put some extra mustard on that to get it all the way around to Witzke. He was under fire from lagging off of the blue line. Nice clearance there. 1:23 left on the power play. Balisic waiting for the next power play shift to get out there. It is Sorkin, Gallant, Lacerda, and Chisholm.
4 on
the Palace. Now go the only Dartmouth goal so far. That pass off target and back the other way shorthanded come the Catamounts. This is LeMay. He and Zapernick connected earlier in the period, but not this time. Back out to center they go, over halfway through the penalty, and Vermont can kill some more clock.
Give Lacerda credit that time for getting back. That was almost a carbon copy of what led to the first goal here in period number 2 for Vermont. And Zapernick with that hard skate up the wing and pass nearly coming across, but Lacerda was able to get over and take away just enough of that angle.
Hessler will hand off to Ryan Sorkin, but he lost the handle. They'll regroup. Half a minute to go in the power play. Over to Hessler on the near side. He'll guide this one in as Hubbard gives chase. Carrier out to play it. Hubbard took it away from him as Carrier gets back between the pipes. Markell with a little juke as he went toward the slot, but they're going to call interference here. And I believe that's going to go against Lokiberg.
There's a race to get to the puck at the right side point. Dartmouth was desperate to keep it in, and Lokiberg trying to play it off as nonchalant as he could, just as though he was trying to turn away from the puck in an instance and drive towards the net. But earlier in the game we said that was the very definition of interference. That might be the most precise definition of interference that you're going to see. So that's going to negate the final 15 seconds of the Big Green Man advantage, where they really didn't have any sustained zone time.
4-on-4 for a very brief amount of time, and then 1:45 of 5-on-4 for the Catamounts. And remember, they cashed in on their only other power play opportunity in this game. William LeMay made it 1-0 on a rebound. First 2 goals in that first period for Vermont. Came on big rebounds left in front by Ferguson. Pierce will tap that one over toward his bench. The Munzenberger penalty is over, so 5-on-4 for Vermont for 1:39 going forward. Bucco brings it in. Yalouche. Met by Markel and Pierce in the corner. 3 Big Green skaters down beyond the end line. The only man left was Hessler, and the puck finds him, and he can clear to get 4 new penalty killers on the ice.
Sammy on the spot in that one. If you're going to commit that many penalty killers down below the goal line, you have to be sure you're going to win that battle, and Dartmouth did in that instance.
They get Campbell, Musa, Palisic, and Cameron on the ice. Here's Laganoff dancing through half of the penalty kill, still with the puck. Laganoff made a name for himself making moves like that in the national championship game for UMass last year. Did it for 4 years in Amherst. Stucker under pressure from Campbell, 52 seconds to go on the power play. Musa lost his stick. Stucker had it poked away by Palisic, got the feed right back. Babachuk wide open in the middle, but nobody found him, and the zone is cleared for Dartmouth. So plenty of time left on this power play for the Catamounts. 3-1 lead for Vermont, under 13 minutes to go in the middle frame. LeMay gets over the left wing, threw it off the wall to get around Kohane. Finding Zapernick with Leahy to receive the pass and return the feed. That one was tipped by Townley, and down it goes.
Nice job there by Townley, just kind of dragging that stick through the passing lane that time, getting the deflection and good forecheck pressure that time from Hessler, nearly forces the turnover.
Andrew Lucas, the junior from Alexandria, Virginia. Penalty is over. Lokiberg will head right to the ice out of the penalty box and make it 5-on-5 again as Urbank chips this one behind. Markel reaching for it one-handed. Vidalin slowed it down, but it's Urbank with some real estate. He will find Hessler on the other side of the rink. He can stash this one away to get some tired penalty killers off the ice for the Big Green. So they start 1 for 2 on the penalty kill. Gallant forces a turnover, tries to find Chisholm, but it's broken up. Chisholm reaching, goes to the wall. Witzke in to try to center it, but it winds up with Zapernick. Long feet ahead, takes an interesting bounce off the near side boards, and it will result in an icing.
Looked like it caught one of those stanchions in between the glass, and don't think I've ever seen the puck gain speed after catching the glass right there, but that one just kind of taking a funky bounce, and maybe a break here for Dartmouth getting an offensive zone draw as they look to try and scratch their way to back within 1.
Third line for the Big Green, Campbell, Unruh, and Urbank. Second line out there for Vermont, Como, Tinling, and Walter. Big Green win the draw. Urbank stepping around Zapernick, but the puck was poked free. Campbell reaching for it. Zapernick kept it off him. Unruh into intercept. Backhander tipped by Leahy up over the top. And into the netting it goes with 11:19 left at Carrier. One of the few times just looked uncomfortable between the pipes today. Maybe got a bit fortunate there on that ricochet.
Backhand shots can be really tough for goaltenders to try and read, and that was just a flip coming through for Unruh, and deflected a couple of different times on its way through. So you take the fact that it's hard to read off the player's stick to begin with, and then a couple ricochets on its way by, and Carrier did well just to kind of track that one and throw a shoulder out as it flew by.
Dovar Tinling gets the red line and in. Cameron goes hard into the boards. Tinling able to win the race to get his own dump. Nice work there from him. Munzenberg sidestepping Chisholm. Munzenberger gets back to his skates. Into the corner they go again. This one is swept out toward Como. Zip toward goal. A face mask save on the tip by Justin Ferguson.
It's only the second shot on goal here in this period for Vermont.
Nearly the third there, but it didn't get all the way through. I know you're about to say, Matt, that the first shot on goal went in off the stick of Will Zapernick. That one finds Como, caught from behind by Palisic. Otherwise, Como had a great spot to shoot from. Loose puck finds Gallant. He's ahead with Chisholm. Feed to the middle is picked off. Good read from the captain, Andrew Lucas. He'll carry it from blue line to blue line. A handoff to Tarkiainen. And around it goes. Poke check there from Pierce to break it up, and a home run feed nearly snuck through for Gallant, but picked off this time by Babachuk, who lays the punishment on Urbank.
Hands came up a little bit high. I think Vermont's fortunate not to come away with the penalty right there.
Urbank back to his skates, able to find Campbell, gets double teamed between the circles. Hamry tipped it. Campbell able to find Unruh. Skating away from Hamry, turned one toward goal, and well kept by Pierce. He'll sling it back in. Tipped along the wall, poked toward Unruh. He'll wind and fire. Kick save made. Rebound kept out. On the backhand, Markel had a good bid, but 2 stops from Carrier. Unruh will lift it in. Tarkianen and Hessler racing after it. That one knifed free by Hessler. Hubbard can drag it off the wall. Cohen gets the glove of Carrier, a stand-up snag to send us to break. 9 minutes, 13 seconds to go. Only goal so far in period 2 belongs to Vermont and Will Zapernick, so they've re-extended the lead. It's 3-1 Catamounts.
This Black Friday, do you want a TV? Or do you want the place on the TV?
Hey, Tristan! Hey, Lexus, play holiday music.
We've been waiting all year to come together. Have a happy and safe holiday season from Lexus.
Vivid Seats, your ticket to soul-raising, heart-racing, 100 beats per minute. What are we wearing? Once-in-a-lifetime memories in the making, bumps like a goose brisket for tailgating, reach for the universe, rapid breathing, can't catch my breath, top of lungs singing. This is it. The moment is now. Can you believe it? Wow. Get your tickets at Vivid Seats. Life happens live.
There's cheese on a burger, and then there's cheese on a cheeseburger. Too much? Nah, don't miss the Red Robin Cheese Lovers lineup.
Red Robin. Yum.
Todd Woodcroft and his Catamounts ahead 3-1. We mentioned earlier Woodcroft is going to be on the coaching staff for the Swedish Olympic team. He's a well-connected guy on the international scene, and college hockey has always been a great melting pot of international talent, but especially for this Catamounts team.
Now you see right there, 9 different countries represented on the roster, 8 from just outside North America alone, or 8 players, I should say, from outside North America alone, players from Finland, Slovakia on this team. That's tied with Lake Superior State for the second most in all of Division I. Alaska Fairbanks, 14 different players from outside the North American continent on their roster. So you talk about college hockey not just growing here, obviously, for players from Canada, but the U.S., but also kind of stretching it beyond those bounds and bringing a lot of international flavor to the game.
If you're asking yourself, well, they've scored 3 goals today. Have they all come from different countries? No, they haven't. They're all from Canada. William Lemay from Quebec, Joe Leahy from Waterloo, Ontario, and Will Zapernick from Edmonton. 9 minutes, 13 seconds to go in period 2. It was the 5th goal of the season for Mark Gallant. His 2nd goal in as many games, and now 5 goals in just 6 games that got the Big Green back within 1, but not 30 seconds into period 2. Zapernick was able to make it 3-1, so for the Big Green, it's got to feel like they're back to square one a little bit, looking to dig their way out of a hole.
And this is not the only ECAC Hockey East crossover today. Northeastern at home taking on RPI. That game has gone final 2-1. Huskies come away with a win over the Engineers. Of course, it's been some crossover between Hockey East and ECAC. UNH obviously picking up a big win down at the Bright Landry Hockey Center a couple weeks or a few days ago. Shutting out Harvard, not something you see that happens a lot. The Crimson, one of the more prolific offensive teams in the country, and not able to get on the board against Wildcats.
I'd be surprised if Harvard gets shut out again this year. Top 3 offense in the country. We mentioned earlier UVM with 5 NHL draft picks and looking to build on quite a legacy the Catamounts have been able to build up. They've got Tim Thomas, Patrick Sharp, and Marty St. Louis on their list of famous former players, and Sure, Hockey East fans know that Marty's kid Ryan is playing for Northeastern. Scored his first career goal a couple of weeks ago.
Referee's down at the box looking at something right now, so there's an official review going on. I know that everyone obviously tuned in to hear Tyler and I wax poetic, but I promise we're not just trying to stretch out the broadcast to chit-chat more. Officials are taking a look. Don't know if this will come down to maybe where the face-off will be placed. They're looking at a play that's going over the blue line right now, so maybe trying to figure out if there was an offside or something. So that's the reason for the delay for the moment.
And we do not have access to those camera feeds on either the ESPN Plus or NESN Plus broadcast feed, so we'll do our best to let you know what the ruling is or what the review is about.
Referee Ryan Sweeney still inside the penalty bench is taking a look at it right now. He and William Brennan, the referee crew here tonight. Glenn Cook and Patrick DePuzzo are our linesmen here this evening. Thankfully, they're playing Sandstorm, so everyone in the stands can,
No, a good time's being had regardless.
Get their jump on.
The players getting a bit antsy here. Looked like they were enjoying a bit of a breather. They've taken away what used to be 3 media timeouts in the ECAC per period. It's just 1 now as they shovel up the ice after the 10-minute mark in each period. Now they're ready to go.
So there's a player skating off right now for Vermont. It looks like Timofey Spitzerov is coming off. We'll get a peek at it right here. And it's the hands coming up high on Urbeck. That's what we were talking about. So if that's what they're reviewing, and I think they got a 5-minute major that's up right now, so maybe contact to the head. We'll see exactly what gets posted, but we talked about it in the moment when it happened. Urbeck with the hands getting hit up high, and the officials went back to take a look. So a prime opportunity here for the Big Green. You can score as much as you want in a 5-minute major, and manpower does not change or equalize out.
And they put a second 5-minute timer up on the board, and that might be a clerical error. We'll see. But for now, it's signaling Joe Leahy has 5 as well, and they've quickly wiped that off. So false alarm. But you said it, Matt. This is exactly what Dartmouth needs. And yeah, credit to you. You had mentioned it at the time of the hit. It was up high on Urbank. And it will put the Big Green in an advantageous position right when they needed it, about halfway through regulation, trailing by 2. All you can eat, some people call it. Palisic will keep it in. Got it back from Gallant as the extended power play begins. Lacerdo gets through a double team. Chisholm tried to center it in towards Sorkin, but it was blocked off by a couple of catamounts. Contact to the head resulting in not just a 5-minute major, but a game misconduct for Corey Babachuk. As Tanner Palisic walks along the blue line. Gallant flipped it toward goal but missed it. Palisic able to keep it in on the backhand, threw it toward the middle, but nobody home. Nice keeping by Gallant. Bucco nearly had the opening clear of this PK. They have not got it out of the zone yet. Palisic a one-timer, kick save. It went right to Lacerdo, but it handcuffed him. Picked off by Bucco. He can skate it out. And you'll almost certainly see a line change for the Catamounts here.
You're taking away one of your top D-men there if you're Vermont and Babachuk. So if you're Dartmouth, you really got to try and ratchet up the pressure here. It's Spitzerov that's serving, but Babachuk that delivered the hit.
Vermont's given up a power play goal in 3 consecutive games. It would be a major feather in their cap if they can keep it a 2-goal lead in the next 3:30. Unruh gets it down low to Musa. No lane there in the corner, so we'll spin free. Get it out to Pierce. Pierce goes to Hubbard. Now back to Musa. Entry feed knocked down by Zapernick, and they can spin it down the ice.
Save for that one shot coming from Palisic just inside the top of the blue line, working towards the face-off circle. Not a lot of opportunity so far on this man advantage for the Big Green.
Dartmouth's first goal came on a 2-on-1 breakout from Chisholm to Gallant. This is Pierce. He and Musa will spread out. About 2 minutes gone by in the 5-minute major penalty. Hubbard threw it back to Pierce. Off to his left, Musa moving in. Shoots and a save from Carrier. Already more in this period than he had to make in the opening frame. As Dartmouth has 10 shots on goal since the intermission.
Not a bad idea. There's no such thing as a bad shot on net, but there's no traffic in front. You got the D-man going down to a knee right there, but he's not really providing a screen for the goalie in that instance. And maybe if you're Dartmouth in that instance, be a little bit more patient, wait for some traffic to get in front of the net before you fire that one too.
Face-off wing. Gallant with a one-timer gets glass. It comes around to Lacerdo, spins and throws it all the way to the middle where it's tipped ahead by Bucco again. About halfway through the 5-minute major penalty. Pass tipped by Bucco. Lacerdo tried to slip his way past Lucas. And once again, Bucco feels like he's doing it all himself out there on the PK, but certainly getting help from the other 3 skaters with him. Lacerdo now skating it in. A lot of ice time for this power play unit. Up to Bucco. Can't clear this time, though. Palisic slides one to Lacerdo. He'll step in toward the circle. Spins away from Bucco. Palisic zips one on. Shot was blocked. They'll carry it out. Bucco gives to Laganoff. 2-on-2 developing here. Laganoff's feed was blocked by Palisic. And they're back to a conventional power play with just under 2 minutes left. They can still score as many as they're able to, but so far so good for the PK.
Not a lot of lanes for the Big Green. Again, that one shot coming from Palisic is pretty much their only opportunity so far. You really got to give this Vermont penalty kill unit a lot of credit here in keeping Dartmouth kind of hemmed in their own end, and not a lot of clean entries either for the Big Green on this man advantage.
When you put 5 minutes on that penalty clock, you figure at the end of that time, one team's going to be feeling really good. Right now, it would be Vermont, but they've still got some time left. That one kicked out. Zapernick turns and can't clear. Pierce picked it off. He'll go to the circle. Townley. Bouncing puck finds Musa. Met by Zapernick. Goes off the wall to Unruh. And around for Hubbard. To the middle. Townley gives to Pierce. Musa looking for Unruh. Tip between his legs. Carter Long will hop to it. Townley got a stick in there, but there's a lane to clear. Pierce got a piece of it, but it gets as far enough down as Vermont needs.
Nothing really clean that time for Dartmouth in the attacking zone. Seemed like every pass was getting deflected or tipped on its way through.
Markell, a pass to Hessler. And they get it through to Unruh. Hessler working toward the middle. They'll find him. His shot denied by Carrier. 34 seconds left on the power play. Those are the kind of chances Dartmouth has been trying to get, but Carrier was ready.
Carrier read that puck well. Not a lot on that one-time shot. It's a nice feed coming up, and Hessler just kind of has to bunt that one towards net, but it goes right between the E and the R on the Vermont going across Carrier's chest. Musa was hunting a rebound in front, but he was able to freeze.
They're not done yet. 34 seconds in the 5-minute major on Corey Babachek for a hit to the head. And they consistently won these offensive zone draws against a tough face-off team. Markell goes to Cameron. They'll keep it out high for now. This shot gets all the way through, but up high. Laganoff on the other end. He can drag it out. Markell goes off the wall to Campbell. Bunched up on the right wing, but they'll get it in with 12 seconds left on the power play. Campbell will poke it around to Urbank. Karam to Cameron. Cameron's shot knocked down. Rebound kept out. What a save on the far post. Campbell was open. 5-minute major over. Spitzeroff, who was serving the penalty, comes out of the box. He'll chop it ahead. In toward Cameron. Shakes free of the defense. Spitzeroff goes to the blue line. Carter Long shot was blocked.
I think it was Leahy that really made the save over on the other end. Campbell open on that far side post as the rebound came over towards him, but it's like Carrier got a piece of it, but Leahy, I think, clamping down on a stick over there.
No surprise to see the jump in the skates from Vermont after killing off all 5 minutes. They've got a 2-goal lead and possession. Stucker holding around Campbell. Backhander on Ferguson, and he seals off the near side post with 4:28 to go.
Nice carry in that time by Stucker as he was able to work his way around Campbell and drive his way to the net front and try and jam one home on the short side post. But you go back to the other end, not a lot of test on that power play, and you got to give Vermont a lot of credit. Active sticks in the passing lanes did not allow easy entry for the Big Green, and they're able to kill off the full 5 minutes.
Coming into the game, opponents had scored on about a third of their power play opportunities against the Catamounts. But nothing so far tonight for the Big Green. Lacerdo will tip it ahead. Gives a bump to Moonsenberger. Gallant hit that one off of Walter. It goes to the other end of the zone. Up to the head. Witzke will snag it and flip it back in. Picked off by Gallant. Lacerdo got tied up in the zone, so Gallant will just lob this one in. Bouncing puck. Moonsenberger is able to keep it away from Chisholm. They're holding hands as they go over the blue line. And Palisic will collect.
I didn't think you could do that.
Good to see them getting along here. 82nd meeting between these two. And Vermont hasn't lost to Dartmouth since 2012. Good idea throwing that one toward the middle by Tarkianen, but it's picked off. Hubbard now will free up Musa. He'll go for a skate. Thrown to his left. Hubbard gets in. Back to the middle. Musa had two catamounts to deal with. He lets it go through. Ahead to the left side. Now loose at the Dartmouth logo. Pierce stands tall at center. They try to find Hessler, but it bounces out of his reach.
I feel like that's been the story of the period here for Dartmouth. They're so close. They're just like a hair off in terms of connecting on some of these passes and having some really good opportunities.
If you can make it tough on a team to get into the zone clean, it can be a long day no matter how hot the offense is. And remember, Dartmouth scored 3 goals against a terrific Providence team in the first period on Friday. Carrier showing some dexterity there to flip that around with one hand. Arkell reaching, kept it in, threw it, and Unruh gets glass with that shot. Had a pretty good look at it. Cameron pinching in, and he'll throw it toward the net. Sticked aside by Carrier. 2.5 left in period 2. Hoping for Cameron, unsuccessful. Swept out by Jordan. It comes back to Jordan, the Miami transfer. And the senior will dump it in. Unruh had that one affected by Bucco. Spitzerov gets back on side. Stucker is in. Poked back toward Laganoff, and he'll have to regroup. Turns the corner, lost the handle. Lacerdo feeds Campbell, and he works his way up ice. Tyler Campbell cuts toward net. Stick got tied up by Lucas, and it's shoveled out. Culhane wants to go quickly up the left wing to Lacerdo, but he's stopped over the blue line by Lucas again. Spitzerov gets it around with speed. Lines up with Sean Chisholm. Long feed is once again intercepted. These sticks from the Catamounts seem like they're everywhere, especially in the neutral zone tonight. Now Gallant works hard for possession. Takes it himself into the corner, but Lucas is there again. Out to Bucco in front of the benches. He'll stash it away. And 5 new Catamounts onto the ice with 1:15 to go. This is Yelush. Plenty of speed, gets the pass back from Zapernik. A good job by Campbell to keep it out of the slot. Final minute of period 2. It was 2-1 after 20 minutes. Dartmouth had a momentum with the 5th goal of the season from Gallant to make it 2-1. But that quickly changed 30 seconds into the opening, or rather the second period. It was Will Zapernik. Made it 3-1. And it stayed that way since, including through a 5-minute major penalty on Corey Babachuk. Dartmouth could not take advantage. Yelush will bring it out to Lucas, who's had a terrific period defensively. Moonsenberger had it blocked. Musa will bring it ahead toward Urbank. Stick lifted from behind. Urbank still working for the puck, but Yelush will take it off his stick. 12 seconds left. Lucas off to his left. Moonsenberger again. Whacked ahead by LeMay, and that'll kill off the final few seconds. 40 minutes in. It's still a 2-goal lead for the Catamounts, 3-1, and the only tally in period 2 belongs to Will Zapernik.
Kind of a rough period there for the Big Green. You figure you got a prime opportunity with that 5-minute major to try and generate some offense. But again, full credit to Vermont. They do a great job not only killing it off, but they've made entry here in period number 2, and any offensive zone time the Big Green have had, they've made it very tough for Dartmouth to really generate much of anything in terms of opportunities. And it's the Catamounts with that quick goal there early on in the period that gives themselves a 2-goal advantage as we make the turn for home.
20 minutes of hockey left as Dartmouth looks for its first win over Vermont in almost 10 years. If they're going to get it done tonight, it's going to take a comeback. Second intermission is next. 3-1 Catamounts here on Nesson Plus.
This Black Friday, do you want a TV? Or do you want the place on the TV?
Tristan! Hey, Lexus, play holiday music.
We've been waiting all year to come together. Have a happy and safe holiday season from Lexus.
Vivid Seats, your ticket to soul-raising, heart-racing, 100 beats per minute. What are we wearing? Once-in-a-lifetime memories in the making, bumps like a goose brisket for tailgating, reach for the universe, rapid breathing, can't catch my breath, top of lungs singing. This is it. The moment is now. Can you believe it? Wow. Get your tickets at Vivid Seats. Life happens live.
The Italian Original Chicken is back at BK in the 2 for $6. You've been asking for years, Pete Newbacher. And now we all get to enjoy the crispy chicken, melty mozzarella, and marinara sauce because of you. The Italian Original Chicken Sandwich is back at BK in the 2 for $6. Pete's way better.
That's his stuff.
It's the most joyous time of the year.
Especially at T-Mobile. Let's go to Diane.
Can you tell us what's happening?
Yeah, I got the awesome new iPhone 13 Pro and AirPods, and T-Mobile's paying for them both. Oh, and I get a free year of Apple TV Plus.
And this is for new and existing T-Mobile and Sprint customers. Like me. Back to you.
Hey.
Hello?
We're going to T-Mobile.
Upgrade to the iPhone 13 Pro and AirPods, both on us. This week only at T-Mobile.
When society hits the brakes, I got gas.
What?
We're taking vacation.
Ireland, baby!
Oi! I don't trade roles for sex.
Damn feminists ruin everything.
This library has too many books. Who's this one over here?
He died from eating rocks, which he thought were eggs.
Ha! Man, I made that mistake.
It's Always Sunny. The new season premieres December 1st on FXX. Next day, FX on Hulu.
I am the greatest woman of all time.
Are you kidding?
Oh, that is a very good line.
Welcome to the Dartmouth Plays of the Week, presented by Milton Cat, your area cat dealer. The Plays of the Week showcase the best Big Green plays each week as seen on ESPN Plus and other media outlets. Now settle in and enjoy the ride, for these are the Dartmouth Plays of the Week. Junior midfielder Eric Sackelbin scored the game-winning goal for Dartmouth at Brown Saturday evening. The goal came in the 46th minute and was assisted by freshman midfielder Finn Callahan with precision tic-tac-toe passing. It was the first goal of the season for Sackelbin as the Big Green closed out their season with a win. Midway through the third period on Friday night against St. Lawrence, junior Jack Cameron of the men's ice hockey team scored his first collegiate goal to give Dartmouth a lead. His goal was the game winner as the Big Green held on for the victory. Up 14-8 in the fifth set against Yale, a well-timed kill by Amelia Gibbs ended the match in dramatic fashion. This was Dartmouth's first win over Yale since 2015. After Cornell scored what turned out to be its only touchdown of the game to start the second half, the Dartmouth offense went back to work. Under heavy pressure, quarterback Derek Kyler flung the pass downfield toward running back Zach Baer, who made this fantastic over-the-shoulder catch for a 19-yard gain into Big Red territory. 2 plays later, Howard finished off the drive with his 20-yard touchdown run. Bear is third on the big green this year with 17 receptions. Playing in its second game of the season, the Dartmouth men's basketball team rained down 16 three-pointers at Georgetown to help knock off the Hoyas 69-60. Taurus Samuels provided 6 of the long balls, as did Brendan Barry, while rookie Ryan Cornish canned the first 3 of his career, and Cam Kristoyak drilled the other as the Big Green earned their first win over a team from a major conference in 32 years. The 16 triplets are the 4th most in program history and the most since the team popped 17 against Albany in Ireland 3 years ago. With a 44-5 lead against number 4 Brown, Lily Durbin further increased top-seeded Dartmouth's edge with her 4th try of the game, stiff-arming 2 Bears and sneaking past 1 more defender to score. The Big Green ended the game with a 56-5 win, advancing to the NCAA championship game to be played against Army in West Point, New York this Saturday. Junior quarterback Nick Howard ran for big yards against the visiting Cornell Big Red, amassing a career-high 172 on just 13 carries, while also scoring 4 touchdowns. But his longest run of the day didn't even reach the goal line with this 75-yard gallop to the Cornell 15. 2 plays later, Howard bullied his way into the end zone from 2 yards out. His other scoring scampers covered 5, 20, and 32 yards to help garner his 2nd selection as the Ivy League Offensive Player of the Week. For the season, Howard has 707 rushing yards, the most by a Dartmouth quarterback ever, and 13 touchdowns, 2 shy of the school record set back in 1929. Thank you for joining us for this week's edition of the Dartmouth Plays of the Week, presented by Milton Cat. For sales and rentals of Caterpillar machinery and generators, visit miltoncat.com. Milton Cat, your area cat dealer.
Grandma, how wide are 2 reindeer? 27, 28, 29.
We've been waiting all year to come together.
It worked!
Have a happy and safe holiday season from Lexus.
This Black Friday, do you want a TV? Or do you want the place on the TV?
The Italian original chicken is back at BK in the 2 for $6. You've been asking for years, Pete Newbacher. And now we all get to enjoy the crispy chicken, melty mozzarella, and marinara sauce because of you. The Italian original chicken sandwich is back at BK in the 2 for $6. Pete's way better.
That's his stuff.
It's the most joyous time of the year.
Especially at T-Mobile. Let's go to Diane.
Can you tell us what's happening?
Yeah, I got the awesome new iPhone 13 Pro and AirPods, and T-Mobile's paying for them both. Oh, and I get a free year of Apple TV Plus.
And this is for new and existing T-Mobile and Sprint customers.
Like me.
Back to you.
Hey.
Hello?
We're going to T-Mobile.
Upgrade to the iPhone 13 Pro and AirPods, both on us. This week only at T-Mobile.
Corinne Marie, I got you some stuff for your new laptop. Power station dongle and a hotspot.
Dad, why?
Because I know about technology stuff.
Okay, well, have you ever heard of Wi-Fi 6, touchscreen, super long-lasting battery life? Because this has all of that.
But I knew, you know what, I knew that. Actually, this is stuff for my laptop.
Mm-hmm.
I was just quizzing you.
Okay.
You passed, by the way.
Want a laptop that has it all? That's Intel Evo.
When society hits the brakes, I got gas.
What?
We're taking vacation.
Ireland, baby!
Oi!
I don't trade roles for sex.
Damn feminists ruin everything.
This library has too many books. Who's this one over here?
He died from eating rocks, which he thought were eggs.
Ha! Man, I made that mistake.
It's Always Sunny. The new season premieres December 1st on FXX. Next day, FX on Hulu.
Free forms, 25 days, 25 days, 25 days of Christmas song. Frosty Grinch, Buzz and Woody and the Santa Claus.
Ho, ho, ho.
So much crazy Christmas, it's a Yuletide marathon.
what's it called?
I forgot.
Freeform's 25 days of Christmas song. 25 days, 25 days, 25 days just because. What's it called? I forgot. Please, somebody make it stop. Freeform's 25 days of Christmas song.
You guys give up or you're thirsty for more?
It's a 3-1 lead for the Vermont Catamounts as we've got about 5.5 minutes to go before puck drop in period 3. Quick goal summary for you. It was William LeMay 5 minutes in on the power play to make it 1-0 Vermont. Then 2 minutes later, 5-on-5, Joe Leahy put home a rebound to double the lead for the Catamounts. With 11 minutes gone by in the period, Mark Gallant got a feed to the middle from Sean Chisholm. He made it a 1-goal game. But just 23 seconds into the second, Will Zapernick was able to finish a pass from William LeMay to re-extend the lead to 3-1, and that all adds up to something like this on the stat board for Dartmouth and Vermont. And still, face-offs are tight, but it hasn't meant a whole lot for Dartmouth. Even though they won so many face-offs to start possessions on that 5-minute power play, it still did not lead to a single goal.
I mean, you see the numbers in front of you right there, and it's almost dead even across the board and everything except the score at this moment in time. And Dartmouth ratcheting up the pressure in terms of shots on goal in period number 2 specifically. They only landed 5 shots on net in the opening 20. They got 11 shots on goal there in the second period. Limited Vermont to 4, but the problem being the Catamounts were able to capitalize on their first shot of the period and extend that lead out. And I really think a lot of air came out of Dartmouth tires when the Catamounts were able to kill off that entire 5-minute major penalty that was whistled down against Corey Babachuk. So again, numbers looking fairly even between these two teams so far, but it's Vermont with a 2-goal advantage.
One more commercial break, and when we come back, puck drop for period 3. The Big Green need a pair to get back in this one at Thompson Arena. College hockey continues next on NESN Plus.
This Black Friday, do you want a TV? Or do you want the place on the TV?
Hey, Lexus, play holiday music.
We've been waiting all year to come together. Have a happy and safe holiday season from Lexus.
Finding your new favorite spot. Piece of, no, you really have to try this cake.
Oh, wow.
Get exclusive access to sought-after restaurants. One of the many reasons you're with Amex Platinum.
It's the most joyous time of the year.
Especially at T-Mobile. Let's go to Diane.
Can you tell us what's happening?
Yeah, I got the awesome new iPhone 13 Pro and AirPods, and T-Mobile's paying for them both. Oh, and I get a free year of Apple TV Plus.
And this is for new and existing T-Mobile and Sprint customers.
Like me.
Back to you.
Hey.
Hello?
We're going to T-Mobile. Upgrade to the iPhone 13 Pro and AirPods, both on us. This week only at T-Mobile.
Corinne Marie, I got you some stuff for your new laptop. Power station, dongle, and a hotspot.
Dad, why?
Because I know about technology stuff.
Okay, well, have you ever heard of Wi-Fi 6, touchscreen, super long-lasting battery life? Because this has all of that.
But I knew, you know what? I knew that. Actually, this is stuff for my laptop. I was just quizzing you.
Okay.
You passed, by the way.
Want a laptop that has it all? That's Intel Evo.
75 vitamins, minerals, and whole food sourced ingredients. One scoop, one glass. Comprehensive and convenient daily nutrition made for just about everybody. AG1 by Athletic Greens.
There are mornings, and there are woke up late, out of toothpaste, spilled coffee in yourself mornings. At least with the 2 for $4, you can do breakfast your way. Want 2 of this, or that, or this and that? Mix and match your sandwich and biscuit on the 2 for $4.
Join Peyton and Eli on ESPN2 as they welcome special guests and break down the game as only they can.
Let's keep going quick because Tom's got to go to bed here soon. What's your curfew, Tom? We're past it.
Monday Night Football with Peyton and Eli returns Week 13 on ESPN2.
It's 6 days to Christmas.
Should we be worried?
I just got to do one last thing.
Looks like Dad is going to be stuck at work for a little longer.
Hawkeye, only on Disney+.
Nice crowd on hand here at Thompson Arena, 3-1. Vermont has the lead over Dartmouth. They call it the I-90 or I-89 rivalry at times. It's been a fun one so far today as we check out the highlights from period 2.
Big Green with a chance early on Jeff Lacerdo on the doorstep. Can't get the stick to it. Turned away that time by Ferrier. And then first shot of the period is a goal. Will Zappernick for UVM. His second of the season. Nice feed there from LeMay. But then good work around the goal as well. Carrier with another stop right there. Justin Ferguson not tested often, but there quite literally using his head to help keep that one out. And then this is the play in front where Leahy really clamping down on the stick. Campbell was all alone on that far side post with a chance to try and bang it home and get the Big Green back to within one. But nice defensive play there by Leahy. He's also got a goal in the game here tonight, and his team has a 2-marker advantage as we get the final 20 minutes up on the clock here at the Thompson.
Based off recent results, you can't count out Dartmouth until, let's say, 7 minutes left. I'm speaking of the game on November 6th against Cornell, down 4-2 with 7.5 to go. Matt Hubbard scored his first career goal to make it 4-4. Jeff Lacerdo tied it later in the third, but eventually Cornell won it. Lacerdo, right off the bat, forces a tough save from Gabe Carrier. This is Laganoff. Gets to the stick of Ferguson. And good speed and energy from both sides to begin this third period. Chisholm looking toward the middle. He'll shoot, and a save from Carrier. Banged off the boards. Markel pinches in. They'll skid it along the wall. Gallant wins that battle and finds Markel. Across the blue line. Pierce thrown on. Save made. Kicked by Gallant. Right to the blue paint, but it came out. Lacerdo looks toward goal. His shot kicked aside by Carrier. You look at the first period, Dartmouth had 9 shots on goal the entire way. That's 3 or 4 in the first minute of period 3. 18 shots on goal for Dartmouth in the box score in period 2. But no goals came of it. Hessler off to his left. Used to try to give it back to him, but Stucker put him down to the ice. Poked back, but out of the reach of Hubbard, so Long will collect. Pass disrupted by Hessler. But he lost his stick, so Zappernick can get it free.
Don't think it was a mistake that Coach Cashman sent out his top line to get things started here, looking for them to try and set the tone of period number 3. That was a great opening shift. Now the fourth line on the ice as Musa takes a hit up high.
You saw the head cock back. No play on. Palisic goes across for Cameron. That one sent to the wall. Simon Jeluš, freshman from Slovakia, bounces this puck all the way through the neutral zone where Palisic has to retreat. Palisic finds a lane. He'll go coast to coast up the left wing. Palisic gets around Como, threw it toward the middle. Left in front, but skids through the crease. Campbell was there on the near side post, but couldn't get the stick down. And there was a buzz from this Dartmouth side, and they'll get an icing call out of it. I can only imagine what Reed Cashman said in the locker room to get this kind of result, but if you're a Dartmouth fan, you got to feel like they've got a chance here.
Certainly with a lot more jump in their step. And this is the most energy we've seen them play with in this game since the opening minutes of period number 1. And that last feed went right through the crease. Tyler Campbell was there, just could not get stick to puck as he was tangled up in front. But you have to like what Dartmouth is generating here over the opening 2+ minutes.
Face-off win. Markel throws it on straight to the end boards. Munzenberger looking for his stick, or asking, why don't I have a stick? And the answer is because it was forcefully removed from his grasp and a holding call. It's going to go against Dartmouth.
Gallant trying to argue that he was getting hooked in the process, and that's why the stick came free, but he definitely clamped the chicken wing down on it. And anytime you've got the stick literally sticking out your backside, odds are more often likely than not that you're going to be the one that's going to the bad boy box, and that's where he's going right now. And big kill coming up here for the Big Green.
Vermont has 1 power play goal already. They go with Laganoff, Bucco, Jeluš, Tinling, and Stucker. This one's jammed out, and all the way down it goes. And they'll quickly get the line change on the Big Green PK. Robbie Stucker, Minnesota transfer and Blue Jackets prospect, will throw it back. Out of the reach of Laganoff, but he can play it off the wall. Campbell forcing the issue on the forecheck, so the handoff to Bucco will get rid of him. Tinling tried to play it off the wall, but it's hammered out by Markell. 2 quick clears for the Dartmouth PK. LeMay works his way in, gets around Palisic, able to knife it over to Zapernick to keep it loose from Cohane. Lucas walking in, cuts toward the middle. That one missed near side. Zapernick chasing it. Leahy comes in to help and he'll shovel it in. Vitelins to the corner. Misfired on that one, and it finds the stick of Hessler. He can get it out to the neutral zone.
Good job by Hessler getting over that time, harassing the pass and forcing the turnover there for the Big Green. Getting another clearance here, their 3rd so far in this penalty kill.
Haven't seen a shot on target yet on the power play. This time around anyway for Vermont. Sorkin hardened to the boards. Vitelins poked it free. Back into Sorkin. They'll wrap it around. LeMay pushes it back down deeper. Vitelins and Urbank into the corner. And the pass to Lucas mishandled, and it spins back in front of Carrier. Gallant ready to hop out of the penalty box. He has to wait a few more seconds, though. Como a kick to the stick. Gets around Markell, but lost the handle. Tinling upended. And a hand pass signal with 15:34 to go. So the Big Green do kill off the penalty, but it seemed like Vermont was more than happy just to have 2 additional minutes to tick off this 3rd period clock.
Didn't really see a lot of aggressive passes going into the zone. Kind of just saw a lot of wraparounds in there. If they could get possession, great. If not, really not a sense of urgency on that power play there for the Catamounts.
Top line for Dartmouth, 2nd line for Vermont. Catamounts go Como, Walter, and Tinling. Munzenberger mishandled that one. Lacerda looking to take advantage, but it pops up into the air. Carter Long pushes it toward Tinling. Lacerda steps in to cut it off. Gallant had it poked free, and Paul mishandled it. This is Tinling ahead. Dovar Tinling across, and the save made by Ferguson. Isaac Walter a point-blank chance, and a game saver for now from the senior goaltender. That one kicked free of Dylan Witzke. Line change for Dartmouth. Tinling looking to capitalize. They'll just hoist this one down for a change.
Some tough rebounds early on in this one for Ferguson that led to some Vermont goals, but saved his team's bacon on that one for sure. It was a nice feed across to Walter, and Walter had plenty of space to operate with, but Ferguson did well to flash out the glove.
Hamry took a hit from Hessler. Hubbard couldn't find the puck until now. Pierce left it at the top of the circle. Toward Hubbard, it glances off his stick. Hamry will skate it to safety. Robbie Stucker now able to get it out. Musa bangs it off the wall. Jordan will flip it in. And 5 new Catamounts on the ice with 3 new Big Green skaters. Campbell, Unruh, and Urbank. 3rd line for Dartmouth. Cameron under pressure on his own end. Would have been offside. Bucco flips in, steps back, and then skates after it. And now Palisic zips one in, tipped by Unruh. They avoid the icing. Unruh behind, looking to center for Urbank. Stopped for the moment by Bucco. Unruh now. Tied up with Laganoff, who wins the battle, and inadvertently pokes that one into the bench with 13:31 left. They'll blow the whistle.
Dartmouth trying to regain some of the momentum they had early on here in this 3rd period as they try to get themselves to within a goal. Again, they've been a little bit more aggressive on the forecheck, not throwing the body around recklessly and trying to force some turnovers. This faceoff should come in the attacking zone, I think, because it was cleared from the defensive zone by Vermont and hit their bench, and that's indeed what's going to happen. They'll bring in the attacking zone now for the Big Green.
Chisholm, Gallant, and Lacerda again the top line for Dartmouth. Line number 3 for Todd Woodcroft's Catamounts, including Zapernick, who hops to the puck off after that face-off win. LeMay tried to go off the near side wall, but Palisic stopped in. Munzenberger works it into the zone. Yelush on the right side wall. couldn't do much with it. Chisholm reaching, stopped at center. Zapernick, and a hand pass signaled again.
Big Green women were in action on the road today after picking up a 2-1 win here yesterday against St. Anselm out of Manchester, New Hampshire. They lose 1-0 on the road down in Manchester today. Allie Kelly, the goaltender for St. A's, making 47 saves in net. She had 38 yesterday in that 2-1 Dartmouth win.
So they're going to bring this face-off right to the center logo. Pearson Zapernick bounces up over Musa's stick, and this is Hessler who can push it around toward Hubbard. Trying to go 1-on-3. He is onside, but that one guided right to Carrier, who can cover up. And you said it, Matt, ever since the penalty in the first few minutes of this third period, all the energy Dartmouth seemed to have in the offensive end has been tough to recapture.
No, and it's kind of gone back to that second period where they're not getting those clean entries into the zone again. Vermont did a real good job of keeping sticks active in passing lanes and kind of funneling the puck where they wanted to when Dartmouth was bringing it in, as opposed to Dartmouth dictating where they're going to bring those entry attacks.
They'll blow the face-off dead. Perhaps inadvertently, I'm not sure.
I think might have had a false start on it there.
The linesman Glenn Cook is looking around wondering who blew the whistle. He was the man dropping the puck. And now Ryan Sweeney, the referee from the back end, is asking for 2 additional seconds on the clock, I believe. And they'll give it to him. Hessler, Musa, and Hubbard on the ice for the Big Green. And now a more emphatic whistle blown. They will signal a face-off warning on Hessler. One more, and it'll be a 2-minute minor. They brought up Musa from the fourth line to join this second line group in favor of Trim Lokiberg. Walter gave it up to Musa, but got it right back on the carom. Hessler charging in hard, but mishandled it. So Walter can flip it ahead to Tinling. The waist-high stick will guide it into the zone. Walter and Pierce battle, but it comes loose to Musa. Pushed ahead, and Hubbard skates into it. Off the wall, looking to spring Markel free, but nothing there. Off the stick of Como, came right back to him from Tinling. He'll keep it along the wall. Into the corner it goes. Pushes Paul up against the boards. Pierce will bring it back. And Unruh lost the handle as it's tipped toward goal and guided aside by Ferguson. Senior goaltender Justin Ferguson in his 6th start of the season, looking to bounce back from a tough one on Friday against Providence. So far, he's allowed the 3 goals with just 1 since the opening 7 minutes. Stick goes flying out of the hands of LeMay. A strong stick lift from Cohane. He's got it in front of his own cage. And now Urbank unable to sidestep Lucas. He'll get it out the hard way and give up possession. It's pass to LeMay, who has that one punched away with the stick of Ferguson. And now Paul on the other end. They're pinning him down deep on the forecheck right now. On the home run feed, it slows down enough to wave off the icing, and it's collected by Robbie Stucker. Lacerdo left behind the pack, so Bucco can skate ahead, maybe with some numbers here. Bucco to the middle, and the shot goes wide from Vitalins. Now Lacerdo up the right wing, pushed down to the ice by Bucco. Catamounts imposing their will here toward the midway point of the period. Bucco leaking free toward the middle. Vitalins couldn't find him. A good stick from Palisic, but it's left out in front. Laganoff missed the target.
That is not the player you want to be turning the puck over to in front of your own net right there.
Neither is this. Mark Gallant couldn't get a shot off. Pass to Palisic at the blue line. The ice has opened up a bit here. 10:35. Chisholm around to the corner with Gallant. Each team's leading goal scorers had a breakaway chance, but neither could capitalize.
Some tired legs on the ice on both sides in this one. Nice defense play in the back end made by Andrew Lucas that time, lifting the stick of Gallant as he was shimmying his way towards net.
Jordan gets it over to Leahy. Tarkianen got pushed back at center. Lucas now. Tipped ahead. Tarkianen got a late read on it. Markell all over it as we're past the midway point in period 3. Markell goes to center. Musa tried to filter it through, but Stucker got in the way. However, he played it with a high stick, they'll say. And with 9:50 left, we'll step aside for our final immediate timeout of the broadcast. No goal scoring yet in period 3, but the way they're flying up and down the ice, hard to imagine 3-1 remaining the score here on NESN Plus.
Make your debit card green. Big green. Select from 16 options by visiting any Ledyard Bank location or calling 888-746-4562. Ledyard's online and mobile banking includes free personal mobile check deposit, so you can show all your Dartmouth pride on your home turf. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Growing your business isn't just one thing, it's a million little things. Should you lease, rent, or own? How fast can you get that part? Does it fit the budget? That's what your local CAT dealer is here for. With expert advice, flexible financing, and industry-leading equipment, you can get the job done day after day. For a limited time at Milton CAT, get 0% for 60 months on select new CAT compact equipment.
As a trusted choice firm, the Richards Group has been committed to local communities for decades. We take the time to get to know our clients, their needs, and budget. We're independent, so we work for you, not an insurance company.
We use our expertise to find our clients the best home, auto, and business coverage at the most competitive price.
Our team provides consulting services for employee benefits, retirement plans, human resources, and leadership development.
The Richards Group. Prepare for tomorrow by contacting us today.
3-1 here at the Thompson Arena. Vermont on top of Dartmouth, but nearly prime opportunities. You see Philip Laganoff just missing what would have been his team leading 6th of the season. Then Mark Gallant skating in there for the Big Green, but broken up nicely on the back end by Andrew Lucas. Two guys that know how to put the puck in the back of the net, leading goal scorers for each of these teams, and prime opportunities to try and put some more on the board. Neither able to capitalize, though, and we stay locked at 3-1 here, just over halfway gone in period number 3.
Plenty of time left for Vermont to add to their lead or for the Big Green to get back in it. We've seen the Catamounts, whether it's win or lose, they stay close in just about every game they play, and they know how to lock it down if they need to protect the lead. And so far, so good ever since Gallant got Dartmouth's first goal a little over halfway through the first period. Nothing additional in the goal column for the Big Green. Gallant will push this one in. Lacerdo and Lucas after it. Lucas got the first touch to it. Lagging off a big hit from Lacerdo, but across it goes to Leahy. Leahy had the second Catamount goal. It could be the game winner in the end. Lagging off on the move. Met by Palisic and Campbell. It's Jack Cameron. Toward Gallant. Off the backhand blade. Lucas will flip it toward Laganoff, and he can guide that one out of the zone. Right back in, but a line change coming for both sides. Lucas shimmies away from Hubbard, goes to the skates of LeMay, who couldn't handle that hot pass, but over the blue line it goes with Yelush.
If Musa again with the second line, as you noted earlier, Tyler. Not the biggest of players, but certainly not afraid to try and throw around what weight he has and get his nose into the dirty areas.
Culhane missed everybody on that pass. But they'll play on, split his 2 targets. Hessler able to find the puck, Musa leaking toward the middle. LeMay went down, so Hessler will go to Paul moving in. His shot was blocked halfway there. Will give it a go, but gets the end boards. Hessler looked at the carom. Back to Paul. Inserted into the corner, but Hessler was leaning the other way. Zappernick now. Urbank took it away. Here's Eric Urbank, who scored his first goal of the season on Friday in his first action, but couldn't get the shot free that time. Zappernick will clear. Got a little bit of help from Yelush as well. There's the icing call. 8 minutes and 3 seconds to go. We have seen some chances leaking out a bit from Dartmouth, but Vermont still has to feel like they've got control of this game as we head toward the final minutes.
You know, some opportunities to be sure for the Big Green, but you got to give the Catamounts credit. They really have not allowed much in terms of second chance opportunities in front. You can think of that chance that Campbell had on the far side post that Leahy was able to clamp down on. You had that little rebound in front that Lacerdo had, but other than that, it's been pretty much one and done in terms of shots on goal here for the Big Green.
Burbank off the face-off win. Ahead for Unruh, slipping around Lucas. Lucas wins yet another 50-50 battle along the wall. He has dominated in his own end tonight. Como. Dangerous pass. It was read well by Pierce. Batted back in. They'll say it's tipped, so no icing. Markell off the wall. Unruh at center. Got it ahead somehow to Chisholm. Lacerdo racing toward the middle. They'll bring it back to Pierce. Sidestepping Como. Pierce all the way through the crease. Nobody home. Markell to the middle. Same story. Past the blue paints. Lacerdo couldn't get the stick down. Chisholm threw it back for Lacerdo. Battling with LeMay. Grabbing some fabric. Steps around Como. Puck came to Chisholm. And Leahy wins that battle. Will go off glass to clear. Tinling reaching for it. Markell did well to keep it away from him. And plenty of room for Gallant. Mark Gallant is in. Lifted back for Chisholm and a glove save. Carrier with a penalty drawn. Gabe Carrier with a big stop. And if that puck goes home, it's a power play anyway. But looks like Dartmouth will settle for a 5-on-4, still down 2.
Great effort that time on the carry through for Gallant, nearly getting towards net. All he could do in that instance was feed it back, and Chisholm firing the one-timer, but looks like Ray Vitelins will be the guilty party going off for a hold here. This is a power play the Big Green have to try and capitalize on, and I think Coach Cashman right now is going to take a timeout and talk things over with his crew, knowing just how crucial this man advantage is going to be. Dartmouth 0 for the power play so far here tonight, 0 for 2 with the man advantage. That includes a 5-minute major.
And you'd like, from a Dartmouth fan perspective, to think they had a few good chances. I would say maybe a small handful of B-level chances on their 5-minute power play. So let's see what Reed Cashman can draw up, and Todd Woodcroft on the other end, hoping his squad can hold on to this 3-1 lead. It's going to be a feel-good win for either side. Vermont, with their lone win this year, coming in a dramatic overtime come-from-behind win over Boston College at Gutterson Fieldhouse. That's not just their only win, but a real signature win for Todd Woodcroft as he builds up this program. And for Dartmouth, a 2-5 start to their season, looking to knock off Vermont for the first time since 2012. So non-conference, sure, but plenty at stake in the final 7 minutes of this one.
And for the Big Green, a chance to try and build some positive momentum going into next weekend. They'll be on the road taking on Yale and Brown as they get some ECAC action in. So anything they can do to build some positive momentum, build some good habits going forward into next weekend and pick up some points on the road, which is never an easy thing in any hockey league, but especially the ECAC. But if they can play well next weekend and get themselves into the holiday break with a couple more wins under their belt here in the ECAC, it would certainly do well to lead to some second half of the season success.
Well, the Big Green have done a decent job winning face-offs to start power play possessions, but the broadcaster jinx right there when Vermont needs it. Down the ice it goes with 1:51 to go on the power play for the Big Green.
It's that top unit again that's got 4 forwards on it. Palisic, the lone D-man.
Down goes the linesman, gets a rise out of the crowd. A little bit of space here for Lacerdo. Holding on to it, gets a touch pass back from Chisholm. Gallant feeds Palisic. Palisic's shot was blocked and fired down the ice. Another block for the Catamounts, number 8 tonight for Vermont.
Just a funnel of green sweaters in front that time. Not a lot of space for Palisic to try and get that shot through, and see the Catamounts giving up the body, not making anything easy here for the Big Green.
Musa gives to Chisholm. He'll fire it in. Zapernick touches it ahead, and William LeMay has some room to skate. He's in no hurry to force a shorthanded bid. About halfway through the penalty. Home run feed to Zapernick. He's got some space. 2-on-1 shorthanded. Finds LeMay, but a kick save from Ferguson. Is there a breakout here for the Big Green? Hubbard off to the right side. Unruh in the middle. They'll keep it out wide with Pierce. Goes across to Musa. He'll play that one off the Karen. Now behind to Unruh. Guided around the boards to Hubbard. 43 seconds left in the power play. Pierce to his left. Musa missed the target. Comes out to Hubbard. Now down low. Unruh tried to go between the legs. Here's Pierce now. Shot was blocked. Musa into Unruh. 25 seconds left in the power play. Backhand feed. Unruh across the crease. Tipped toward goal, but missed on the far post. Good bid from Musa, but just off target. Good shift from this Dartmouth power play unit. Long finally finds some possession for the Catamounts as the final seconds tick off the penalty on Vitalands. That one skids right to Ferguson. 2 seconds left in the penalty. Vitalands about to hop out right where the puck is, out of the sin bin. And Chisholm will get it into the offensive zone, but the power play is over.
Dartmouth was able to work the puck low a couple of different times during the course of that power play. It's something we see more out of them this year, working it low to the near side post and see if you can get a backup attempt or a feed across going in front. And again, it's been the story of the game for the Big Green. Just some near misses here tonight. Can't quite get everything to go the way in which they're hoping and planned.
Laganoff starts the rush. Off to his right, save from Ferguson. Another rebound, but he covers this one up on the initial bid from Vitalands.
You got to go back to that save that Ferguson was able to make that turned into kind of a delayed 2-on-1 coming over. A big flash out of the right pillow. He's made 2 huge saves here in the third period to keep it just a 2-goal game.
Well, the story of the day has to be the Catamounts penalty kill. Just 70% coming in. And they've given up a power play goal in 3 consecutive games. But not tonight, at least not yet. Musa got all of that one. A good idea to spring Gallant free, but Carrier read it well. Cameron pinching in. Left in front for Gallant. Shot, score! Mark Gallant, second of the night. Right between the circles. He couldn't have picked a better spot to be. It's a 1-goal game.
Some accidental offense. Puck just takes kind of a funny deflection over in the corner, and it finds number 11 for the Big Green right between the dots. He's got all the time he needs to bring it down to his tape and settle, and goes bar down and gets his team to within a goal here at 3-2.
Hey, Reed Cashman's got to be thinking, I called the timeout to set some plays up for that 2-minute power play. And that's how we score? They'll take it. 3-2. And a little bit of life in the building for the Big Green. They've finally broken through for the first time since the first period. Sixth of the year for Mark Gallant. And he's done it in 6 games. Unruh. Cameron, that one lifted high. On the other end, Palisic pushes it to the wall. Unruh, Urbank, Campbell, Palisic, and Cameron on the ice on the offensive end for the Big Green. That one comes to Urbank. Shot was blocked. Came back off the glass, and it's covered by Carrier. Refs didn't realize it for a bit, but they'll blow it dead now with 3:37 left. It was likely goaltender pull time in a few minutes, down by 2, but now you'll almost certainly see it in the next few moments if necessary for the Big Green here. Lacerdo, Chisholm, Gallant, Markel, and Pierce on the ice for the Big Green. Gallant tried to cut in off the face-off win, but nothing there. Tinling almost tripped over at center. Carter Long in to help, but it's Chisholm with it. Harried by Tinling, and that one goes up toward Todd Woodcroft, who ducks out of the way, or at least throws a hand up in defense on the Vermont bench.
Flying pucks can be scary, correct?
Yeah, Jim Connolly and I had one up at the Hart Center broadcast booth in Holy Cross. I did not sacrifice the body, but I kept the souvenir. It's in my car right now. Every face-off means so much at this stage, and Vermont gets a big win, and they're able to get it out. Munzenberger into the corner with Hubbard. Now Markel. Hessler pushed down by Laganoff. To the circle it goes. Loose puck, Musa and Long. Musa trying to lift the stick, but Long uses that big frame to keep it away. All the way down the ice it goes. Hustle required by Pierce, and he applies the speed to win that race with Vitalands and get the icing with Under 3 minutes left.
Nice job there by the Big Green, and Ferguson moving over to the bench right now. So Dartmouth's going to be aggressive here. They're going to get the extra attacker on the ice with the offensive zone draw coming inside. 3 minutes remaining here in the third period. Of course, we saw Coach Cashman being aggressive in that game against Cornell, pulling the goalie out early on. And a timeout taken here by Vermont, so they're going to take a moment and realizing what's at stake with the offensive zone draw coming up here, trying to slow things down and catch their breath if they possibly can. So Big Green trailing by a goal right now, inside 3 minutes to go here in the period. And face-offs, as we talked about, have been key all here all night long, and it's actually the Big Green with the advantage on the dot right now, 22-19 in their favor on the face-off draws.
And you wonder how much Vermont wants to or needs to change here. You almost wonder if they're trying to remind their guys that the Gallant goal, the second one of the night for Gallant, it came on an unfortunate ricochet for the Catamounts and found their leading goal scorer all by himself between the circles.
You know, they've been really well structured here tonight. Again, going back to that second period, they made entry pretty much anything for Dartmouth really, really challenging, particularly during that 5-minute shorthanded opportunity, which they were down after Babachuk was whistled off for contact to the head. They just really made it hard for Dartmouth in terms of getting the puck into the attacking zone, then also made it hard for Dartmouth in terms of once they had the puck in the zone, finding passes across. They really funneled the Big Green into lanes that were kind of long and diagonal across the ice, had active sticks, were able to get to it on a number of opportunities there and keep Dartmouth off the scoreboard ultimately there. But the Big Green here, chance to try and pull within one, or chance to try and tie the game as they're down by one. Ferguson back out on the ice right now, so we'll see if he stays off the ice here. Didn't know maybe if Coach Cashman was hoping to get the extra attacker on, as Vermont was going to have to hold things up after the icing. Ferguson's going to go back to the net now, so I think Coach Cashman was trying to get the extra attacker on the ice with Vermont gassed, and full credit there to Coach Woodcroft for recognizing that fact and calling the timeout to get his guys a blow.
So neither team has a timeout at this point. You wonder if Reed Cashman used that Vermont timeout to talk strategy if and when he pulls the goaltender for some 6-on-5 plays.
Dartmouth nearly had 7 skaters on the ice there for a moment.
That one comes to Bucco. On the back end, it's tipped in by Zapernick. Final 3 minutes of the third period. It was 2-0 Vermont in the first, 3-1 Vermont just a few moments ago until Mark Gallant scored his second. 1-goal game. Ahead for Hubbard, chopped down to the backhand. Lucas and Leary into the corner for Vermont, and they'll rim it all the way around. And they're calling for Ferguson. Lacerdo onto the ice, 6-on-5 empty net for Dartmouth. Lucas and Lacerdo do battle. Urbank reaching for it. Gallant is in there as well. They punch it away from Laganoff. Big hit there on Gallant in the corners, looking for a hat trick here to tie the game. Lacerdo throws it to the other side. Pierce is there under pressure at the blue line, goes down to his knees but keeps it in. Urbank had that poked away, stopped by Pierce. Line change here for Vermont. Palisic looking to capitalize. Goes off the end boards for Lacerdo. 102 seconds remain in the third period. Dartmouth looking to make it the penultimate period. Overtime could be required if they score. Gallant down low. Chisholm look to the middle, loose on the far post. Urbank pinching in, but it came out to Pierce. Gives to Palisic. Gallant shoots, didn't get there. Chisholm. Palisic down low. Gallant off the skates. Big save, Carrier. There is a chance on the far post for Lacerdo, but denied for now. Urbank reaching, kept in. Gallant, Lacerdo, and it came off the wall. That was as close as it gets to being back into the neutral zone. Vermont thought they had it cleared. Final minute, 6-on-5 empty net. Same group of 6 on the ice for the Big Green. Shot kicked away by Carrier. Gallant around for Palisic. Pierce got it back from Lacerdo. They'll change out Urbank. Shot, stick down by Bucco. He finds a seam, flips it down the ice, but it's off target. And that will be an icing with 32.7 left.
Having already used their timeout, Vermont has to keep the same skaters on the ice here, so a chance for the Big Green, but several opportunities in front that time. Lacerda over at the bench right now, doubled over, looking down, and going to see a feed coming in front. There he is, but somehow Carrier is able to get over, stretch out that right leg, and keep it away. It's a couple opportunities. I think Lacerda may be trying to be a little bit too fine around the net a couple times here tonight.
Big face-off win there from Musa. Markell got it from Witzke. Now Musa. Back to Markell again. Tipped up in the air off the stick of Sorkin. Sorkin, Hubbard, and Unruh down low. Puck comes back to center. Musa feeds Markell. Yelush tipped it back. Unruh backhands it in. Desperation time now for the Big Green. Final 7 seconds. Into the corner. Markell couldn't keep it in. Off his skates out to center, and that should just about do it. Musa to the middle. No time left. The Catamounts hang on. A 3-2 win for Vermont. They continue to dominate this head-to-head series in recent years. Dartmouth gave them everything they could handle. But in a Hockey East versus ECAC battle, it's Hockey East and Vermont that wins the night.
Vermont really executed when they needed to tonight, killing off that 5-minute major in the second period. I think was a big thing in terms of setting up their success for here later in the evening. And then really that second Dartmouth goal just came down to a funky bounce that found Gallant right in front that he was able to bury. Carrier finishes the night with 25 saves overall. He was big in net when they needed him to be. Also have to give credit over on the other side, Justin Ferguson, a couple of big stops here in the third period to keep the game within striking distance for the Big Green, but the Catamounts pick up their second win of the season.
Dartmouth next up. Road series against Yale and Brown. Then they'll take on Merrimack, another Hockey East foe. As for Vermont, 2 games at Maine next weekend, and then they host UMass Lowell on December 10th. Fun one tonight. Thanks so much for making us a part of your Sunday afternoon and evening. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving weekend, everybody. For our analyst, Matt Corsetti, top cameraman, Andy Hamill, and our executive producer, Ben Myers, my name is Tyler Murray. For all of us here